It's all an awareness game. You have to notice what you're thinking, what you're believing, what you're doing, and catch yourself in the act and say, oh, look, there I am again, believing that I have to get money from the outside, believing that I'm lacking, believing that I don't have enough. And you have to, again, bring yourself back to the direct experience. So I recommend every day, give yourself at least once every day that direct experience of noticing that you are that infinite abundance. It's a really important thing to give yourself, because if you don't have that every day, then what's your reference point? Your reference point is something false, something delusional, something weak, something without the power and leverage. So what are you going to be doing? Well, you're going to be acting from weakness, which means you're going to get bad results, which means you're going to validate all your bad, limited, negative beliefs. So it's a vicious cycle. So at least once a day, preferably more, but at least once a day, give yourself that direct recognition, the direct experience of noticing, I am infinite being, which is infinite abundance. I am that. It's not enough just to tell yourself that. You have to actually give yourself that direct experience. So if you don't know how to do that any other way, just watch this video again and go through that guided practice at the beginning so that you can give yourself that every day. And when you get really good at it, you don't need to take, however long that took. That was like 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. But you can be able to, you should be able to access that just, like that. You should be able to, in a split second, you should be able to access that direct recognition. And however long that takes you to start is fine. It's like training wheels. You have to start where you are. But just, I'm pointing out that you don't want to train yourself that you have to take a long time to access that. You want to be able to go directly to that recognition. You just drop everything and just notice, yes, I am pure being. I am infinite abundance. I am that. And I'm saying it's not just a thought. So you want to actually be able to directly notice it in your actual experience. That's so important because, as I've been saying over and over, otherwise you make this terrible mistake where you habitually put your attention on the outside where you don't have the power, which means you're going to make all of the wrong choices. You're going to chase after money on the outside. You're going to be putting yourself into compromised positions. You're going to be doing things that you don't really want to be doing. Okay, so that's number one thing. If you want good results, give yourself that every day, every single day, at least for a moment. Directly connect with that recognition that I am infinite abundance. I am pure awareness. I am infinite being. And this is the source of all creation, that all things emerge from this, that it's all emerging within consciousness, of consciousness, as consciousness. That's what all of this is. It's all perceived directly through consciousness, just as a dream is. So then the next thing is that you want to know, and this is what I point, this part now is review from last week. I want to point out that also, think about this. When you know that you are infinite abundance, when you know that you are that, would it make any sense for you to do things that you don't like doing, that are not actually expressing your true gifts, that are not actually adding real value into the world, that are not blessing this world, just so you can chase after money? Think about that. Clearly, it doesn't make any sense. It's actually insane, but that's what most of us are doing, right? Most of us, because we're thinking the money is on the outside, we're chasing after it by doing things that we don't want to do, that don't actually express our truth or our joy or our real gifts. Okay, so that's why I gave the exercise last week. Explore on a daily basis, who am I as this unique expression? What are my gifts? What are my unique expressions of joy? What do I love? What am I good at? Forget about money. Just what do I love? If money was not an object, if money was not something that you had to think about, if money was not something that you were a slave to, what would you be doing? Where would you be? Who would you be doing it with? Why? And it doesn't have to be something grandiose. It might be, right? You might be out there, uh, saving all the puppy dogs in the world, right? That might be who you are. You might be out there going door to door, generating world peace. That might be your thing, right? You might be out there feeding all the starving people. But it doesn't have to be. That's only true if it's true for you. it could be true for you that, for you, is that you would just be doing a watercolor painting of the scene that you're seeing on the beach. Or maybe for you, it's just that you're just sitting on the beach, just taking that in. Or maybe for you, it's just that you're just feeding your own family, or whatever it is for you, right? Maybe you're just feeding your dog. Maybe you're dancing. I don't know. That's the point. I don't know. You know. And if you say you don't know, well, then that just means that you have to do that. You have to apply yourself to that regularly, daily, sincerely, every day, so that you can start to get that clarity. Because what's happening is that you've got a lot of mental and subconscious blocks that are telling you that you don't know, that you can't know, that it's too hard, that you don't have any talent, that you don't have any joy, whatever it is. So, but I promise you, you do have unique gifts. You do have a unique purpose. You do have joy. You are here for a reason. And that reason is to be you, just as you actually are, not as you think you should be. And so it's really important that you do that work consistently on a daily basis. And I'm not saying put hours and hours and hours a day toward it. I'm just saying take a few minutes every day to really genuinely take a look at what is the authentic expression of joy for me. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. Don't get hung up on thinking, oh, there has to be just one thing. Just notice the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, whatever, that are the authentic expression of joy, purpose, meaning, and value for you in your life, where you don't care if you're getting paid or not, where it has nothing whatsoever to do with money. Don't trip yourself up by saying, okay, and how am I going to make money with that? Don't do that. The point is, and this is so important, that think about this, when you are true to the abundance that you are you going to be expressing yourself through misery and pointlessness? Are you going to be expressing yourself authentically through joy, meaning, and purpose? And it should be totally obvious, right? When you know the abundance that you are, that abundance naturally is expressed through the joy, purpose, value, and meaning that is unique to you. Has to be. It's so obvious. It's like everything that I say is so obvious. It's kind of stupid. It shouldn't need to be said, but it needs to be said because all of us, and myself included, we all have gotten so confused, and we've twisted things around, and not through any of our own fault. We just innocently and ignorantly took it on, and so we got ourselves twisted around, and we think the opposite of what is true is true. So we think the only way to be abundant is to be miserable, which is just obviously not true. So I have to point it out that the truthful expression of abundance is to be true to the unique joy and expression and gifts and purpose and value that's you as a unique expression, right? So that's why it's so important that you take time each day to get clear on that, and then start to actually imagine that. Just take a moment each day to imagine that it's already true, that you are doing it, that you are expressing that. Don't put any pressure on yourself to figure out how you're going to do it outwardly or anything like that. Just start to imagine it each day, that it is true, that I am doing that. I am living in that way. I am joyfully expressed. I am satisfied at a soul level. I am expressing that abundance easily, effortlessly, joyfully.